Alexa, lower.
Mark, can you hear me? Mark, can you hear me?
Someone give you a thumbs up. Alexa, lower.
How are you doing today, Mark?
Okay,
Good.
where's everybody?
Here comes the boss.
Well, the boss is showing up right now, late.
Okay,
Hello.
hello.
Just gotta go get a towel. Sue's away and Anne's away.
Sue and Ann are away, and
Val has her kid.
Val have their kids in town.
Do you want a towel?
Yes, please.
You want water?
Yes, please.
Then you gotta start.
All right. To honor those that have showed up on a timely basis, not including the boss. We'll get started. To get started today, let's come to the center of our mat, bring our feet out to the side. And let's bring the sides of the feet parallel to the mat themselves. Let's bring some straightness to the legs, and let's bring some length to the upper body. Let's draw the shoulders up. Take a big breath in, and then powerfully exhale it. Let it go. Take it back in again, and powerfully exhale it. And then one more time, energizingly taking it in. And as you do so, draw your shoulders up to the ears and hold the breath, lungs full. Open the palms to face forward. Let's cup the fingers and then draw the straight arms backwards to feel the expansion across the chest and activation of muscle across the back. As you take your next breath in, let's bring those cupped hands all the way up, palms facing the sky. Let's rotate the palms to face and bring the fingertips together. Let's take a little bit of effort to extend the arms forward. And I need to extend, let the shoulders grip forward and then push the fingertips into each other. So we have that nice elongated arm and pressurized fingertips. Let's draw your hips backwards and then begin to hollow out your belly. And what I mean by that is simply by pulling the belly button into the spine. Now, while we hold in this position, I'd like you to try to spiral away from the center line of the body, your heels. So begin to push them out and away from that center line. And then take a big breath in. Try to keep the legs relatively straight and then pull your butt back ever so slightly more. Let's push the arms forward a little more and let's push the fingertips into each other a little harder. As you take your next breath in, stand tall, bring hands over heart, take your left knee, lift it up and into the air. Whoops. And then replace that foot back down to the side of the mat. So we're going to go and translate across side to side. As the right knee rises, we lower and we exchange left for right. Getting this nervous system of ours a little bit triggered. And then both feet come back firmly to the mat. Extend the arms back out straight with fingers cupped and extending arms forward. Reach forward ever so slightly more. Straighten the legs, spiral the heels, butt pulls back, and give me a little deeper of a lean this time. So you're chopping through the hips, not bending through the back. You're extending the spine. Take a big breath in, raise the arms a little bit higher, and as you exhale, bring hands over heart. Stand tall, push your hands to the sky. Now, keep the hands pushing to the sky, but push the palms into each other. So we have flat hands pushing together. As you inhale, extend the spine. And as you exhale, release the palms and then let your arms float out beside the body and begin to chop your hips and fold forward. Let the spine go into flexion. Take a couple breaths and hang out. Enjoy being inverted and relatively motionless. As you inhale, extend to a flat back. As you exhale, push your hips high to the sky. As you inhale, extend And bring your palms onto your thighs to tabletop your back. Now, as you pull with your head this time, try to find length through the neck and decompression through that region. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, let's return our hands back to the mat and step your feet back into plank. Nice. Now, give me a hover low, followed by a hover high, and then pull your hips upward and backward to down dog. I'm going to modify some of what I'm doing so that the mic is still within reach of my voice. And then float it back to plank and lower the knees down onto the mats. Spread them to the width of your mat as you bring your feet together. You feel the heel and ball of each big toe connected. Let's drift the hips backwards. And as you do so, simultaneously walk your hands forward. As we begin to open up our shoulders and feel that nice lengthening through our lats. Try not to rest your forehead on the mat. Try to keep your head elevated. And then let's come back in with the hands. Step the feet out to the sides of the mat. So we have a very wide stance in both our hands and knees and feet. Let the head fall. And then from the center of your spine, pull it high to the sky. So this is like a cat. We also refer to it. I'm going to hold out here for a couple seconds and enjoy that nice lengthening. As we move into cow now, we're pushing actively the chest through the arms, right? And then pull the back of the head to the sky as you flip your tailbone to the sky. Now, hold on that, and while you hold on that, try to pull your belly up and into the spine to feel a connection all around the base, pubis area, maybe up and into the ribs. Let's reverse it again, pulling from the center of the spine, let the head fall. Tuck your tailbone under this time. And come back to a neutral spine. Let's walk the hands forward. Keeping them forward. So the hands and arms are relatively straight. And hands are connected to the mat. Let's separate the fingers widely. Now, tuck your toes under at the back. And then float your knees up off the earth. And then slowly let them lower back down. And then float back up and lower back down. You'll notice that the intensity of this is a little more than what we started, as we're continuing to warm the body. On the next elevation, pull your hips up to down dog, sweeping your chest, pulling through that sternum, that chest plate. And then stepping both feet up and in between the hands. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Exhale, fold back down. Let your hips drift back and try to bring some straightness to the legs. As you inhale, extend to a flat back. Exhale, fold back down. As you inhale, unfold and sweep the arms to the sky. Nice. Hello, everybody. Sunday fun day. We're underway. Now, separate your fingers widely and use the fingers to pull everything. I mean, the arms, the shoulders, everything to the sky. And as you exhale, let's lower the hands shoulder height with the palms flipping to face the earth. Beautiful. Now, bend both knees as we begin to squat down into a chair-like type position. I'd like you to practice today a good balance between front and back loading, but I want you to do this with awareness in the feet. So let's drift forward, pressurize the toes, and then let's drift backwards, pressurize the heels, and then find equal between two. And once you've got equal, begin to descend down and try to keep the pressure, weight bearing the feet equal. And then rise up and lower back down. Now, holding the palms facing the earth, raise the arms and then lower, raise and lower, and raise and hold, stand tall, Reach for the sky. Big breath in, exhale, fold. Step it back to plank. Hover low. And then push back up. Do that 4 more times. Everyone meeting in our high plank position. Take your left hand, touch your right shoulder, and then switch sides. You can adjust the width of your feet for stability, but continue to alternate between left and right. And then everyone meet in our plank position. Pull your hips upward and backward, down dog. Step or jump your feet forward. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Keep the back in extension. Bend both knees. Bring the palms onto the shins. Push the palms to the shins. Keep the back extending. Give me a deeper bend in the knees if you can. Try to sink your hips low. Now, as you inhale, give me a proud chest. As you exhale, release the hands, let them sweep forward. And begin to open up through the hips while you keep those hips down. So it's a deep squat. Now stand tall and squat lower. We practiced this earlier. We're aware of how the weight bearing in the feet feels. We're working to keep it equal. See if you can increase the range of motion, getting a little deeper. You can't stand taller, of course, but you can always go lower. Now, everyone stand tall, sweep the arms to the sky, fold down, have a seat. As you lie down on your back, oops. Before you do, you might do one as I grab some water. Got some dry mouth going on today. Too much information. All right. Let's all meet down on the mat. Oh, warming up was so much fun. Now, let's take the leg and extend them up into the air. And this should help give us an opportunity of getting that lumbar or lower back connected with the mat. So I'd like you to play around with the legs, like let them drift forward and see if you can feel your lower back, if it rises off the mat. And then pull the legs in towards the chest, or towards the chest, not bending through the knees, of course, and see if you can get that sensation of the lower back on the mat. And I'd like you to find the spot where it just seems to engage with the mat, and that's that lower back, of course. Now, once you've got that spot, let's take the heels and push to the sky. So there's a really long straight leg that you've got going on there. While you work to keep that connection that you found of the lower back on the mat, while you work to keep that, I'd like you to take the right leg and begin to let it lower towards the ground. Keep the legs straight. If you can get all the way down, great. And if it doesn't go all the way down, don't sweat it. And then when you kind of hit your low spot, bring it back up to the high spot and switch legs. It's nice and slow. We're just articulating through our hip socket by moving the legs. A little bit of lubrication back in those hip sockets, even though we did some lubricating with those squats. Keep working side to side. Keep the focus on maintaining that lumbar touch, if you will. All right, I think we pretty much warmed up those hip flexors. We're going to hold the legs up now and bring some of our rectus abdominis muscle into play. Let's take the fingertips, aim them up at the toes. So make those arms straight. Now there's a couple of options of getting your fingers closer to the toes. One is to let the shoulders shift forward. Let's not do that. Let's make an effort to take our abdominal muscles and begin to contract them and pull the shoulder blades up off the mat. So we have a lot of flexion in the spine. Reach high, touch the toes if you can, And then slowly lower back down. And let's do this 4 more times. Slowly.
You should tuck your chin.
That's good practice to tuck your chin into your chest as you come up. And on the 5th one, we're going to hold up. Try to reach a little higher. Try to reach a little higher. And then as you exhale, lower the upper body back down. Let's position the feet on the mat with the heels just by your butt. Deep bend or big bend in the knees. Let's step those feet out to the width of the mat and then take your toes and turn them in towards the center line. That might help to start to bring the thighs together, which is what we're aiming to do. And if your thighs are together now, I'd like you to initiate a little squeeze of them together. They missed each other. They want to say hello. They want to spend a little time closer. So let them do that. As you work to squeeze them together, remember we kind of practice pelvic rotation with the legs, finding that lumbar low back feeling, that sensation of the skin in that area touching the mat. So rock the hips forward back so you can kind of get the lumbar skin area touching the mat. And I'd like you to squeeze the thighs together. So now we've got all of that going on. Let's extend the hands back up over the chest. And then I'd like you to reach your fingers to the sky. So this is a modified crunch. So we're squeezing the thighs as we raise up the shoulder blades up off the earth. So we're inhaling as we come down. We're exhaling as we rise up. The chin is dropping into the chest as we raise. Inhale, raise, reach. Exhale, lower. Keep that squeeze going on in those thighs. Enjoy this whole package you've got going on here. One more time, up, hold, rise a little higher, and a little higher, and then relax it down, extend the legs all the way up. Good job. Stretching it all up. Extend the hands above the head, extend opposite direction of the feet, pull the body long, enjoy. And when you're ready, drop your chin into your chest as you bring your hands back up over the chest. Begin to pull up one vertebrae at a time, Pilates style, if you will. Oh, these muscles are all worn out. I can barely get up. We're going to dive down in between feet to that nice lengthening along the hamstrings and that low back. Yeah. Got our core muscles, very specific muscles we're working there. Rectus abdominis, that six-pack muscle that everyone likes to see when they look in the mirror. As I've gotten older, I just call it pack, like one. All right, come back up to the seated position. Let's separate the feet hip width apart. We're in the staff pose. We're going to keep the toes, we're going to keep the feet in flexion. So we're not like pointing the toes, we're just aiming straight up at the sky. And if you've got flexion in your spine, and I'm just going to demonstrate by moving sideways. Oops. You've got flexion in your spine. Let me try to create extension. And this growth of the spine, this decompression of the spine is very important. Let's draw the shoulders up to ears as you bring hands over heart. And we're going to practice staff a little bit. It's kind of a boring pose. There's not a lot going on, but you might notice the longer I talk,
More tired yet?
the more tired you get. It's just a ruse. It's a practice, a tactic, you know, just to kind of get you holding that position. Now, hollow out the belly, pull in the tummy, crowd out the chest. Take the shoulders and try to pull them off the center line of the body. You kind of feel the pull out directly away from the middle part of the body as you create that energy to do so. Keep the belly button hollowing out and keep the head pulling to the sky. Nice. So we have nice postural behavior. Take your hands, push them together. And then as you take your next breath and release it, let the hands sweep out. So you have arms pulling off the center line of the body. Take the palms, flip them to the sky. Is that staff pose beginning to kill those little muscles known as your hip flexors? Hopefully you're getting that sensation. How about you, Kirsten?
I'm good.
I'm good. I know, you're still good. Sweep the hands to the sky, lower them down shoulder height. Do that a few more times, inhaling as you raise, and exhaling as you lower. And when you're ready, bring hands back over heart and take one vertebrae at a time and lower back down onto your mat. Let's switch around here. Oh, how nice does that feel? Let's step the feet in just an inch or two and separate them wider than your hips today. Let's take your feet and flex them. So this is dorsiflexion. You pull the feet in towards the shins. As we keep the feet dorsiflex, I want you to check the angle in your knees. It should be obtuse. So if you're into geometry, that's a greater than 90-degree angle. So make sure you have as much of an angle as possible as you rotate the flexed feet in towards each other so the big toes hopefully touch. And more importantly, the thighs make that nice connection. Let's squeeze the thighs together. And just hold in that for a couple of breaths. We're going to work this as a progression today. So we're going to intensify and add on step by step. Now let's release that. Turn the toes back to face the sky. I'm going to check in and make sure your legs are nice and long, but have a slight bend in the knee, of course, as you begin to rotate internally, feet towards each other. Let's bring the thighs back together. And this time, I'd like you to take your belly button. I'd like to pull in towards the spine. You're going to have the assistance of gravity, but I'd like you to make the effort to pull or hollow out your belly. Now, for me, I notice that this involves that lumbar skin pulling up off the mat. That's fine if you've got that experience. Now, let's release everything, rotate the toes back up to the sky. And as we continue with this progression, rotate the toes back into each other, squeeze the thighs, keep that squeeze, realize that the arms drift down beside the body as you cup the fingers. As you cup them, bring the fingertips onto the mat. Now make your chest proud. We're going to push that strong chest of yours to the sky and then hollow out the belly. And then as you work to push your fingertips into the mat, let's do the same with the heels. And as we do all of that, make an effort now to squeeze the thighs as hard as you can. And then let's release that, let everything kind of relax, rotating the toes back to the sky. All right, here we go. Final thing, we're adding on to the nth degree here, rotating feet back to the center line, squeezing thighs, pushing fingertips, hollowing out the belly. As we begin to do that, let's push the heels into the mat, and now let's see if we can raise the tailbone up off the mat. So you get a big push. You have a lot of activation in those medial and posterior muscles, those middle thigh and back leg muscles working hard, pushing, 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 and squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. Squeeze the thighs harder, harder, and then relax everything. Pull your knees up and into your chest. Bring your forehead up to meet your knees and rock and roll front to back, extending the legs. Crossing the legs. And then if you need to change position, because we're going to go roll through this, I like just to roll over my legs like that. Not everyone can do it. So whatever you need to do to kind of get into a quadruped position. Now that we're on all fours, we're going to spread the hands and the knees and the feet wide to the edges of the mat. We're going to take our chest, and this is a very profound kind of movement. Because when I say drop in between the arms, I'm really asking you to do, if you're looking at it from the side, is to kind of keep the arms straight and bring the chest down into the arms, but don't drop the head. So keep the back of the head lifted, chest dropping into the arms. We've not locked up the elbows, so we have that nice muscle activation across that joint. And then we're going to pull the belly button into the spine and begin to do what I call that cat-like movement, where the center of the spine is pulling to the sky, but we're hollowing out the belly. We're kind of taking the pubis and tucking it under and letting the head fall. I'm keeping mine up simply because I need to be able to talk into the mic. But I let it drop. And then come back to a neutral spine. And then let's float the knees up off the mat. So this is a floating bear. So we're going to go clockwise, just a small circle. If you can imagine you had a pencil in your belly button, you'll be drawing a small circle. You need a long pencil. Now let's stop, rotate the opposite way. Again, it's just a small rotation. And then everyone meet in the center spot, lower the knees back down, and come up onto them. So we're going to keep the feet wide. Come up onto the knees like we're in a tough guy position, but I'm only standing 3 feet tall. Take the shoulders up to the ears, open the palms to face forward, keep the arms long, cup the fingers, sweep the arms backwards. You should feel a nice opening through the chest. Take a big inhale. On the exhale, I'd like you to sit the hips a little bit. So we're not getting very low. We're just getting a little bend and really kind of chopping more through the hips. We have that spine nice and long, and we have the head pulling to the sky. As you inhale, sweep the arms forward, rotate the palms to face, bring those cupped fingers together. Now, like we practiced earlier, shoulders drift forward, fingertips push together, inhale, raise the arms, exhale, lower. It's oscillation up and down. Connect it with breathing. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale up, exhale down. Continue on this. And then everybody put hands over heart. Come up to a high kneeling position. Push your hands to the sky. Inhale, extend. Let the hands separate, shoulder width apart. Look up at the fingertips. Try to grow the spine and try to arch backwards if you can. Take a big inhale, and on the exhale, just let the arms relax. Let's step that right foot forward. So we're in a modified lunge position. Now, that left knee, oops, we got a little bit of cramping going on, excuse me. You have the left knee, you can pad under it if you need a towel, and the right heel separated, about hip width apart. I'd like you to take the heel, right heel, of course, and the knee, left knee, of course, and try to pull them together. You notice that there's a little bit of pull and not much effort can really be given to this. So this is a modification. We can do this if we need to intensify this work. We're going to come up off the back knee. So now I'd like you to make that front leg straight. And I'd like you to make the heel on that back foot and point it up to the sky. So we have both legs relatively straight. We have a forward lean, but we're not deeply leaning into this particular pose. In this position now, I'd like you to take the front heel and back toe and pull them together. And you'll feel much more muscle involved. Let's keep that muscle active, that activation, that chain, if you will. While it's active, I'd like you to lean forward and then come back straight. And then lean forward. So this is going to challenge your balance, but I want you to have pull of 2 opposites across the center line of the body. Realize as you lean forward and as you come back to an upright or semi-upright position. Now, hold on this. Let the back knee bend, lower down. Step the right foot back. Step the left foot forward. Again, setting up the less intense movement first. Right knee, left heel, pull together. And if that sufficiently works your body, continue. If you can, raise up off the back knee. Take that front leg Straighten it. Keep the body relatively upright as you pull left and right together. Cross the center line, just like a scissoring type action. With hands over heart, lean forward and rise. We're raising and lowering as we continue to scissor together the two legs. Using breath, right? Correct. Inhale as you raise, exhale as you lower this time. A little bit different. Oops. Drifting off my center. Pull, pull, pull. And then this time, keep hands over heart, but step the back foot forward. Back to standing. Everyone loves it. Push your hands to the sky. Inhale, extend. Separate the hands shoulder width apart. Big breath, get a little deeper. Try to arch through the back. Try to sweep those arms back as far as you can. I know this is a little challenging for some of us, but give it your best effort. Now, as you relax the arms shoulder height, turn the palms to face the earth. Pull backwards with the baby fingers. Get a nice expansion through the chest. Keep the chest in an expanded form, which means the muscles of the back are contracting. Lower the arms down. Take that left leg of yours, raise it into the air. Depending on where you are, you might be stepping forward or backward on your mat. I'm stepping back. Kirsten is stepping forward. She was back and I was forward. So, lean in. Open the palms to face forward. As you inhale, extend the spine. As you exhale this time, lean in a little more. Take a big breath in. Roll the spine a little more. Pull the head to the sky. Sweep the arms backwards. Now take your thumbs and spiral them externally. We're rotating away from the center line. Feel that nice pull or activation across the back. Beautiful. Now straighten the front leg. Pull, heel, and toe of opposite sides together. Inhale, sweep the arms forward. Raise them up. High. Exhale, lower and sweep back. Pull, toe, heel. Sweep arms in as you raise. Inhale. Exhale, pull it back. Inhale, up. Exhale, back. One more time, up. Hold the arms long as you exhale, fold over that front leg. Step it back. Hover low, hover high, 5 times. Pull up and back to down dog. Step the feet forward. As you inhale, extend to a flat back. Exhale, pull back down. Inhale, unfold, sweep the arms to the sky. As you bring hands over heart, take the right knee, raise it into the air, step that foot backwards. Straighten to the front leg, heel to the sky in the back, heel, toe, pull together, lean in. Now take the arms, release them down, open the palms to face forward. Take the thumbs and spiral them backwards. Sweep the arms back. As you work to pull heel and toe together continuously through this whole exercise. Arms sweep forward, reach to the sky. Lower back down, sweep them back. Keep the heel and toe pulling together. Inhale, raise. Exhale, lower. Again, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Oh, it's just burning like crazy. Hopefully you got the same feeling going on. As you inhale, raise. Bring hands, hearts. Back foot steps forward. Woo. Hands to the sky. Inhale, extend. Exhale, fold. Have a seat. Lie it down on your mat. Oh my goodness. I'm going to take a water break in the transition. Cheers to everybody. Mm. Kirsten goes, okay, I like this lying down stuff. Excuse me. I have to admit, it does feel pretty good. Now, we worked, and now we're going to stretch it out a little bit. We've got roughly about 10 minutes left to kind of do some nice, effective stretching. We're going to take our legs and we're going to cross them over each other. I'm using right over left. And crossing at the knee. We're as close to it as we can. It depends upon a number of mobility factors, but if you've got the ability to do so, close knees are desirable. We're going to pull them both into the chest. Switching it up a little bit, yeah. I'm going to wrap my hand around my legs and then it's going to rock forward and back. And then I'm going to pull my forehead up to meet my knees and then try to rock on my spine, forward and back. And then I'm going to relax, put my feet back down on the ground, switch over to the opposite side, pull in and bring forehead up to join the party, and then rock and roll front to back. And then returning both feet to the mat, bringing them hip width apart, taking the right foot and bringing it up onto the left thigh. Now, for some of us, we might have issues relative to mobility on that right hip. So if it doesn't quite go beyond the knee, that's fine. You can put your heel on top of your knee. The thing I'd like you to be conscious of here is the knee itself. In this case, it's the right knee. And we're going to try to rotate that away from the center line of the body. So as it rotates externally, that muscle activation is going to be working to our favor. We're going to stretch those outer muscles, those lateral or side body muscles. And it's a simple thing we're going to do. So if you need a towel, or if you can reach with your hand, I think we could grab a hold of the knee area. So we're not just grabbing on the kneecap. So as you work to externally rotate the knee, I'd like you to pull in on that leg. And then push back out with resistance. And then pull back in, resisting the pull. And push back out. And you notice that this is like just a little bit of a stretch. It's not a major thing. We're going to work on that in 1 second. Just getting some blood flow into those muscles. Now let's hold out that leg and see now if you can reposition the foot. Now that we've got a little bit of more blood in the muscle, see if you can reposition, maybe get that foot down onto the thigh itself. And with that, we're going to take the left leg and begin to pull it in towards the body. And this is going to feel more intense in terms of its release, right? So how far you pull in is based upon the acceptance of your body to do so. Of course, there's a lot of other variables, but I'd like you to kind of work to relax those outside or side body hip muscles. Take a couple breaths. And then once the muscles begin to realize that it's being stretched, it generally gives you a little bit more. So see if you can take it. Pull that left thigh in a little more, if it's there. And then take another couple breaths and try to do a little more. Even if it's just a fraction of an inch, it's better, right? Get that mobility back in those hips. Important to stretch what's tight. Now let's relax that left foot back down. We're going to bring the right foot back to its position. We're going to elevate that left heel on the knee or on the thigh if you got it. And we're going to rehearse this a little bit. We're going to resist as we push out the knee and resist as we pull in the knee. So it's the same level of resistance. It's just given by two different things. The arm is resisting as we push out, and the leg's resisting as we pull in. So let's do it a few times. And once we get the muscle, vascularize, we get some blood flow into it. We're going to hold and reposition that left foot, getting it down onto the thigh if we can. And then take the right leg and pull it up and into the chest. Take a couple breaths. See if those breaths have brought any more opportunity for depth. Hold it a little closer. On the next inhale, see if you can get in just a little more. And then let's return everything down onto the earth. Going into one of my favorite stretches as we cross the right leg over the left. We're going to use the right leg to pull the left leg towards the right. That's correct, towards the right side of the body. If we rotate that knee down towards the earth, I ask you not to put it down on the earth. So we're just floating it above. We should feel a nice length or pull across that left hip. Let's bring the left hand to the sky. And then at a 45-degree angle, or just reaching back diagonally. And we practice the release of the shoulder out of the socket by kind of pushing forward earlier today. We're going to do the same thing with this stretch. I like you to kind of reach that shoulder out of the socket, just pull long with that left arm, and then pull towards the earth with that right leg. Pull the left knee towards the earth. So we have tension all the way along that side body or lateral chain of muscle. Just feel that, enjoy it for a couple of breaths, and then when you're ready, rotate onto your back, switch up the legs. Let's begin the descent. Right out of the gate, this sort of feels so good for me. I don't know about you, but I hope you get the same experience. Let's reach the right hand to the sky and then reach it backwards, not directly back and not directly out to the side, kind of in between those 2 points. Pull long, reach that shoulder. Pull with the shoulder, actually. The arm just going to be straight and pulling. To feel it across your pectoralis, your chest muscle. Definitely for me over the hips, this is such a great stretch for people that are sedentary. I'm one of them. Or we do a lot of exercise in with flexed hips, like squats and stuff like that. All right, so let's come back up. Pull the knees into the chest, bring the forehead up to meet the knees, rock and roll front to back, come up into a seated position. I'm going to keep my legs crossed, and I'm going to start to walk forward my hands to get a little stretch through lower back and enjoy this nice lengthening. We're going to take a couple breaths and switch the legs up so we have the opportunity to to stretch both joints, both hip joints. And let's walk it back in. Change the legs. Walk it back out. Let's walk it back in. Let's plant both feet just in front of our bodies, hip width apart. I'm grabbing on the kneecaps. I'm going to make my chest nice and proud, and I'm going to pull with the arms to kind of pull through. So I'm leaving some of the work of the hip flexors by using the arms to create pull. Now I'm going to make the neck nice and tall, almost like I've got an imaginary string tied on the top of my head, just pulling to the sky. Literally like pulling it right out of the shoulders or off the shoulders itself. Let's take the knees and grip them inwards, and then Keep nice and tall, nice and tall, yes, nice and tall. And then let each vertebrae, beginning at the base of the spine, slowly descend back down on the mat. I'm holding on to the knees, so I'm kind of rocking down slowly. Let my head drop down to the mat. And then I'm going to take my feet and connect them, or the bottoms of them together, and let them fall so that the sides of the feet are really falling down on the mat. And I'm going to open up a nice stretch in the inner thighs. And then let's pull the legs back together. Pull the knees back into the chest, forehead up to knees, rocking and rolling forward to back as you grab onto my kneecaps. Coming up to a seated position. Let's bring our hands over heart. Let's bring our eyes together again so I can see you face to face and say thank you for joining us today. Hope you have a wonderful Sunday, fun day. Namaste.
Stay.
Bye.
Cheers, Mark.
Cheers. Cheers.